Hello and welcome to Sincerely Elvis Presley. I'm Sean. If you're new to the channel, thanks for tuning in. And if you're not, thanks for returning. I appreciate it. Bit of an impromptu one this. Wasn't actually planning to do this, but it's bank holiday. It's been bank holiday week here in the UK. So my wife and I have been travelling around on day trips throughout Cambridgeshire, Lincolnshire, Northamptonshire, popping into various places. I picked up a few things along the way and I was excited about sharing them. So I thought, you know what, I'll do an impromptu video. Now I know that before I said that my last haul video would be the last haul for a while, and technically it is, because this isn't about me going somewhere and scooping up a load of stuff. I've picked this up over the last week and a few bits and pieces before that as well, so it isn't technically a haul. And also I've got to make up for the fact that I said that the next haul video would be record fair in October, but actually I'm not going to go to that record fair in October. Why aren't you going to that record fair in October, Sean? I hear you cry. Or not. Well, I've kind of got to where I wanted to get to. Now, I know there's going to be collectors out there going, "You're crazy, man. What are you talking about? It never ends." And yeah, I get that. But I set out about 5 months ago to replace all the vinyl that I had in my teens, I guess, early teens. And to get original UK pressings of all the Elvis albums released while he was alive. And I've pretty much done that, but I've done more than that. I've picked up so many different things along the way that I'm back to the space challenge again. I've shifted stuff around in here quite dramatically. I've managed to find space for, I mean, I think we must be talking 200 plus albums now. There or thereabouts. So yeah, I've reworked this sort of Elvis space quite dramatically. In fact, if anybody's interested, let me know in the comments and I'll do another sort of walk around and update from updating past when I first started, because I have changed things, around quite a bit. So if anyone's interested in that, let me know. If you're not, obviously I won't. So yeah, this is a bit of a, it's not me signing off for vinyl, don't get me wrong, but I've kind of got to with vinyl where I wanted to get to with CDs, and I've got all the back catalogue stuff that I could possibly want. New stuff that comes out that interests me, yeah, absolutely, I'm there, but I've kind of filled the gaps that I wanted to fill for the time being, so I'm sort of going to give record fairs and that kind of thing a miss. I'll still pop into, whenever my wife and I are out and about, I'll still pop into record shops and antique shops, bric-a-brac shops, that kind of thing, because you never know what you're going to find. But I'm kind of satisfied with what I've managed to achieve. So before I start out, there's a couple of shout outs I want to give. First of all, David Hulet, my good friend David Hulet, who I've never met in person yet, but I feel I've got to know. David, your videos are amazing tonics. I look forward to them and they cheer me up no end. If you've not encountered David's YouTube channel, then I'm going to put a link in the description of this, because please do check him out. He's as I say, is an absolute tonic. Yeah, keep it up, David, and don't stop the singing. You shouldn't stop the singing, mate, but yeah, keep up the good stuff. And the other shout out I wanted to give was a big thank you to Michelle, aka Elvis Lass, who gave me a bit of a plug on our community page a couple of weeks back, and I really appreciate it. It was so kind of you to do. Thank you so much. Absolutely heartfelt appreciation for that, because this YouTube thing, when I started out, I had no idea if anyone would be watching or not, and I'm lucky to have gained, I think I'm nearly 550 subscribers now in about 18-19 weeks. But it strikes me you get to a sort of critical mass, and then how do you reach any further? How do people get to know you there? Unless people share and make other people aware, there's kind of no way for you to do it yourself. So anyone that helps in that kind of way, it's so much appreciated. So thank you so much for doing that. And I also want to give a shout out to your husband David. Now David produces some of the most original Elvis t-shirts out there. This is one of them, in fact. And what I like about David's t-shirts is there's quite often little nods in there. It was almost like those that know, there's little hints and things that, you know, only the kind of hardcore Elvis fans would get. So yeah, I really like David's stuff. So as with the other Davids on his channel, I'm going to put a link to David's stores in the description of this, so please do check him out because his t-shirts are fantastic. So right, so on to what I've been picking up this week then. Enough waffle from me. Let's get on to some releases. Right, here's the first one. Nothing particular, let's get it out of this. Nothing particularly excited about this one. A couple of little dings on it. I think this was about German release, 1982, potentially 83. Yeah, as I say, not particularly anything spectacularly exciting, but I think it's a great cover, and this was £4, so couldn't really say no to that one. Then I got myself the first press, UK press of He Touched Me. Laminated sleeve both sides. That's in nice condition. That is on the original orange label. Needs a good clean, but it's pretty unmarked. That was the Princely sum, I think £15 I paid for that one. So nice to get He Touched Me. Then I got this press of Elvis Gold Records. Now this is the single sleeve press, so it's not the sort of floppy card one that's got the little booklets, I think 2 variations of the booklets. So this is the single sleeve, but in really nice condition. And this is one of the last on the red seal. I've checked this out, and I believe this label indicates that this is a 1967 press. So I believe, because in early 70, they re-released Gold Records with the 68 special sleeve. So nice copy. That was £10, that one, which I thought in really nice clean condition. Pretty good. Then I picked up a nice copy, not pristine, but it's nice enough, of a pretty rare album, the 1965 Elvis Flaming Star and Summer Kisses. Now this one cost me £20. Now I don't think that's too bad. You can see really clean copies of this go sort of £50–60 upwards, and this isn't too bad at all really. There's a couple of little dings on it, but for this it's the what are we looking at? Red spot. And again needs a clean, but pretty nice condition for £20. I think this was probably one of the last ones I needed of the original UK pressings. So pleased to get hold of Flaming Star and Summer Kisses. Now this is an interesting one. This is a kind of, it's a repress, but it's, so that was, I think that was an Italian EP, if I'm right, the Tickle Me EP. So what it was, I mean, with Tickle Me, I wanted to get an album with Tickle Me, but my only choices were the Castle Music one that was released, I think, somewhere in the early 90s, and then the FTD one. Both of those are way up my price range. This one was £20, and it's a pretty decent replica of what would have, I mean, I don't, you know, it was never released as an album at the time, so this has got extra tracks on from the EP. But yeah, I was quite pleased to get this really, because as I say, it's a way of getting an album representation of Tickle Me, and it's kind of hodgepodge of previous released music. There's your track listing. But yeah, so quite pleased to get that. And then I picked up this. Now this is an Italian release, and I think, if I remember rightly, This was either late 70s or early 80s this came out. I think it might have been, I'm feeling it might have been 78. So here's your track details. And it's on a, it's quite nice, it's got the sleeve. I don't know if that's going to come out on camera, with a little sort of dot print of RCA on the inner sleeve. And then you get this blue Lineatra label. Actually, it's 1980 actually says. So yeah, lovely condition that. I think this is reasonably hard to pick up. And this cost me the grand sum of £8, which I was quite pleased with. I think they did, this is the Elvis in the 50s, 1957. And I believe they did one for 56 as well. I don't know if there are any more in the series, but I'm pretty sure it's probably only those two at the time. But yeah, quite a different one that. Now, bootlegs. Now, David of Elvis Presley in Japan talked a while back about how bootlegs have come on leaps and bounds and in recent years, and so professional compared to where they started out. And I've mentioned it too, you know, especially with CD and multi-box CD releases, how professional they are. Well, let's go back to 1978, I believe, this one. And this will show you how bare bones bootlegs were when they were first released. So there's your cover. So we've got From the Beach to the Bayou, You Are There, recording live with Elvis. And you get sessions, outtakes from King Creole and Blue Hawaii. But that's your sleeve. Is there anything on the spine? No, absolutely nothing on the spine. And absolutely nothing on the back. I mean, it's quite a thick card sleeve, but you don't get a lot in terms of the artwork. So it's purportedly on Graceland Records. There you go. There's your label. So this one is the Blue Hawaii recording session. And then on your B side, you get the King Creole recording session. So yeah, pretty bare bones. And you think, well, okay, there are some tracks listed, but if it's outtakes, what are we getting? Sleeves doesn't give you too many clues, but let me have a look because I managed to Google it. So we get side A, Can't Help Falling in Love with You, takes 13 to 29. Beach Boy Blues, take 1, false start. Beach Boy Blues, take 2, complete. Beach Boy Blues, take 3, complete. Then on the second side we get King Creole, take 3, King Creole, take 18, Crawfish, take 7, Steadfast and Loyal and True, take 14, As Long as I Have You, take 4, As Long as I Have You, take 5, As Long as I Have You, unknown, take, Love a Doll, take 8, King Creole, take 13, King Creole instrumental, take 8, Muskrat Ramble instrumental, and then for some bizarre reason, Wild in the Country, take 40. Why they just stuck that on, I don't know. But there's bootlegs of the 70s for you. I mean, some interesting stuff on there. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but so I don't no idea what the quality's like. But yeah, there's bootlegs of the 70s for you. See how far we've come. On which subject, I did feature this on a short at the weekend. So I went to a car boot sale at the weekend, and I picked this up for £8. Now this is, the original I think was 1970, so it's one of the first Elvis bootlegs. According to my good friend and subscriber Harold Trittner, I've got the second press of this, which is the US press. I think the Netherlands was the first press. But you know, talk about bare bones again. There's your back knocked out on a typewriter. And I don't know if you can see that, but we've got taken from the Mark Daghorn Elvis collection, first label USA. Now, Mark Daghorn, I was curious, you know, why is it? It says promotional copy there, but that's just because the label says promotional copies, and that's what bootlegs always used to do. There's nothing promotion. What are they promoting? They're bootlegs. So that is not a promotional copy, but whoever picked this out decided because the label said that. Mark Daghorn. I googled Mark Daghorn and Elvis, and I came across some photographs. I'll put one on the screen. Of a collector. This was dated, I think, 1981 in Jersey. There was a Jersey heritage site that had 3 photographs of Mark Daghorn and his Elvis collection. So I'm really curious. Is that the Mark Daghorn? And is this? I've no idea. If anyone knows, let me know in the comments. I mean, Mark, I don't know if you're still with us or why your collection's been sold off. But if you are, and you're watching, let me know in the comment. I'm just fascinated. So yeah, there we go, bare bones. There's your bare bones label. I mean, in the 70s, they didn't even like to say, you know, to fall foul of the law, they didn't even want to say it was Elvis. So it says Elvis nowhere, just a picture. And your label is credited to Aaron P, Memphis, Tennessee. So yeah, there's your label. Beautiful condition this though, for its age, you know. Sleeve's a bit battered, but I just thought, you know, car boot, piece of Elvis history there for £8. So I'm not leaving it there, I'm taking it home with me. So there we go. Elvis, please release me. So there's all my sort of finds from out and about over the last week and a bit. And as is usual, because I don't do these often, I like to lump it. I just want to share a few things that I've been picking up on the internet in the meantime. So I haven't shown a grey market sort of public domain release for a while, but I thought this one was quite interesting, Elvis in the 60s. I think it's a phenomenally great cover. And this particular shot of Elvis and Anne-Margaret has been used on another public domain release. Which label was it? Wax Time, I think, brought out Elvis Dancing Hits and used exactly the same cover. But this one is a triple album, Elvis in the 60s. And what I particularly liked about this, see if we can get you your track list there. Hopefully that's coming out. This is on the Not Now label. But what I particularly liked about this was just the presentation. I think they've done the gatefold really nicely. You know, for a budget release, I think you'll agree that looks pretty spectacular. And being as it's a grey market, they love their coloured vinyl, so we've got a triple vinyl in red. So yeah, that you can get that on Amazon today, and it will set you back about £28, which for 3 albums, I don't think it's too bad at all. Staying on the theme of red vinyl, and also staying on the theme of effectively grey market imports. This I picked up from a subscriber of mine, a subscriber I contacted via eBay, and he messaged me. So Lee in Wales, thank you for allowing me to add this one to my collection, 68 and Lee. So from Lee I got this, I got Rare Elvis volumes 2 and 3, and he was kind enough to throw in for absolutely free, gratis, an original US press of Love Letters, still in its shrink. So yeah, incredibly generous. Thank you, Lee. Really appreciate that. Really glad to get my hands on this one. I'd seen it reviewed elsewhere. So this is 68 Unleashed, the legendary stand-up shows. Beautiful, beautiful presentation. This was available at the time in solid red and translucent red. And this particular copy is your translucent red. There we go. So yeah, really pleased to get that one into the old collection. Staying on the theme of coloured vinyl, because I do love my coloured vinyl, got myself hold of a copy of... Ooh, that's very glary. It's better with the sleeve on. So I got myself a copy of... don't think I can defeat that glare. That's because it's still in its shrink. so apologies for that. But it's the Forgotten album, a record store day release on VPI. So I think this was the album that was available at last, the French LP that should have been issued in 1956. And what I love about this one is it is in absolutely gorgeous 5-coloured vinyl. Look at that, it looks like sticker rock, absolutely beautiful. And you get a nice little booklet with it, which I can just show you. Appears to be almost entirely in French, so I'm not going to have much look. Oh, that's the original sleeve. It's not a booklet at all. That's the original inner sleeve because I put it in there. Ooh, okay. So yes, any French viewers I have, hopefully you can read that. I don't stand a chance. Apologies. There's your track list. So yeah, that's the Forgotten album. Now the last two I'm going to show you are two store exclusives. So I got hold of a copy. I don't know if that's going to be worse or better. I'm going to leave it in the sleeve this time. So this is the Boy from Tupelo, the Sun Masters, but this is a Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. So this is in blue vinyl with a 12x12 poster. So there's your hype. So it's the standard release of Boy from Tupelo, the Sun Masters, but what I thought was rather attractive, especially with the Sun label, is the exclusive Barnes & Noble blue vinyl. And you get with it a little, well, that's the original inner sleeve. There's your track list for anyone that's not familiar. And you also get a little 12x12 poster, which is rather nice. So yeah, happy to get that. And then my final store exclusive is this Walmart exclusive, back to Elvis Gold Records again. This is the Walmart exclusive gold vinyl, and it really is a nice gold vinyl. That really does sort of look quite like a gold record, I think. So yeah, there's a few additions. Some of those internet ones have been over the last several weeks or so, but I like to sort of gather them together if I can and share them with you. So yeah, the other thing I've treated myself to, since I sort of got back into vinyl again, I've noticed a real problem with cleaning vinyl, and it wasn't something I really remembered from in the 70s and 80s when I had vinyl first time round, but I think that's because all the vinyl I was buying then was new, and you know, at that time when vinyl came out of the pressing plant, it was playable straight off the bat. Put it on your turntable, brilliant. So all you really needed then was a bit of a brush, and you know, you were away. But the problem I've got recently is that the old vinyl, some of this is 50 years old, even if it looks pristine, you know, there's going to be dust and grime sitting in those grooves. A new vinyl that comes out, nearly all of it, especially the stuff on Sony, is so badly produced that you pull it out of the sleeve and you can see all debris and stuff from the paper and the pressing plant, and you just can't get out a brand new record now, put it on your turntable and it's going to sound great. Doesn't happen. Sounds rubbish. And I've had a bit of a challenge, sort of what to do about that. You know, I've got carbon brushes and things, but they really just move the dust around. They don't really solve the problem. I did buy myself a spin clean, one of the they call it a machine, but basically, you know, you put distilled water and some solution in, you have these brushes, you pop it in, you turn the vinyl round 3 times one way, 3 times the other. And I bought the machine, I got it, I never actually took it out of the box because I sat looking at it, I thought, oh, I've got to get distilled water now. And even if I do all that, I've then got to sit and dry it and make sure it's properly dry. It felt like a faff, and I don't like a faff, so that went straight back. And I treated myself to a proper machine. This is a machine. It's a Project VCE2. I'll put a picture of it on the screen. So basically you just put your record on, clamp it down, put your solution on. The solution's all pre-prepared. They give you a brush. You basically switch the machine on, it revolves around, and you clean it back the other way, get all the solution in, let the solution sit for a couple of minutes, and then you just basically put a hoover arm and it just hoovers it all up and dries it. Absolutely fabulous. Transformed my listening experience. They're not cheap, but I think if you know, like me, you get frustrated with just constantly putting things on a turntable and it's snap, crackle and pop in. You know, there's some records you're never going to defeat that to, but you know, by and large, I'd highly recommend this machine or something similar, because it just takes the headache away from it all. Yeah, it might be a bit lazy, but hey, so what, you know. Anywho, right, that's enough of me waffling on. Thank you so much for watching. Please do let me know in the comments if you've got any favourites of what I picked up, or if you've got any tips on what you think is the best way to clean records, store records, anything like that. But let me know what you think, you know, what you liked about what I picked up, or if you liked anything I picked up. And I will see you. Hopefully you'll be able to join me at the usual time on Sunday, when eventually in my 1970 series I finally get around to talking about That's the Way It Is. I know it's been a long time coming, but I do get there. So yeah, thanks again for watching. Please do all the good stuff if you haven't already, you know, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that stuff, you know, anything to help the channel I appreciate from the bottom of my heart. So thank you for watching. Hopefully I will see you this Sunday. Till then, take care. Ta-da.
We'll meet you again. God bless you. Adios.